Hello and welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Gabriel. I'm excited to have you here after some time away. Much thanks to my returning subscribers. If you're a new person to my channel, please ensure to click on the subscribe button and tap the notification bell so that you can get notified whenever I create something new. I'm excited because we have reached the 1000 subscriber mark on this channel. Much thanks to what you do for this channel. In the past few days, I just saw the notification. Much thanks to you and all what you do for the shares, for the comments, for the feedback you leave, for the questions you ask, and all what you do for this channel. I'm really excited. Let's do more as we step into the new year a few moments from now. Today I want to talk about something that is very serious, something I too have experienced and I've had to work on it, and I'm still working on it. And it is how to say no to very close persons. If I may ask, when was the last time you said no to a very close person? You know, you have to think about that before you give a response, right? But then come to talk of saying yes, on the other hand, you know, you have said yes to several persons. In the past 2 weeks, I've said no to 2 persons very close to me. One is my mom, and then the second one is a very close colleague to me. And I wouldn't be saying all of these things if saying no was something just normal. But then saying no to close persons to you sometimes comes as a shock, sometimes comes and you are looked upon as a rude person and all of that. But then come to think of it, when you keep saying yes to people, to their requests, to their plea, to their appeals, you know, sometimes you become unfulfilled with your own goals. For example, you have a goal to fulfill. You need finance, you need money for that particular thing. But because you said yes to somebody, no, I'm not just talking about not sacrificing for people. It's good to sacrifice and all of that. But sometimes you yourself even know that you are not wise in saying yes or consenting to the request of that person. That is exactly what I'm talking about. So how can you say no to the request? How can you say no to very close persons to you without sounding rude, and then you know that you are getting good for it? You know, for the better part of our lives, for several of us, we were born naturally from childhood. As a child, as you seek attention and you seek items from your parents, you know, you are always shifted to saying yes to their requests. You are always shifted to consenting to everything that they say, just for you to gain their love, for you to gain one or two things from them. And you know, it's almost like a default programming. And then you grow into society, you grow into your faith, and you are being taught to consent, to caring. You are being taught to be empathic about everything. No, society teaches you that saying no to persons, saying no to people somehow looks rude, and you don't just want to be counted out. You don't just want to be looked upon as being a boring person. You don't want to be looked upon as being a black sheep and all of that. And you are moved to say yes to requests, even if they are inconveniencing to you, even when they are not convenient for you. That is exactly what I'm talking about. So how can you get to say no to people close to you without sounding rude, without sounding uncaring, without sounding as though you really don't give any concern about their requests or just what they have? You know, for many of us, you need to learn it. It's a learned behavior. You need to learn that very consciously on how to say no to very particular persons in your life, and you incorporate it into the programming of your life. Just as I said earlier, for very many persons, you have not learned how to say no to some persons. You have not learned how to say no to very particular persons in your life. And it has cost you a lot of things. It has brought up consequences that even you know that they are not wise. So that is exactly what I am talking about. So how can you say no, maybe for example, to your bosses at work? Saying no to your boss at work may seem like the sky is going to fall, you are going to be fired and all of those things. And it is principally because that has been programmed into us right from birth. Society teaches you, faith teaches you, and then you get to work with supervisors and bosses, and the next thing is yes sir, yes ma'am, and all of those things. And that is all what you are being made of. That is what has been programmed inside of you. And saying no to your boss may sound very rude, and then it is very, very important that as you say a no to a boss or a supervisor, the tone of what you are saying and then your body language matters a lot. And one thing you must do is, as you say no to a boss, it is proper you give a defense. You prepare a defense ahead of your no, so that you can always give. For example, you are being encumbered with a lot of work to do, and then more work. Your supervisor or your boss wants to add more work to you, and you actually want to say no because it will make everything just unbearable for you. So how can you say no to that particular thing? There is a tact to it, and you must be very wise to do it. Your body language and then your tone will say a lot about your no that you are going to say. So you prepare a defense for it, as I was saying. You make the person see the reason why you have to stick to what you are doing, because giving time away from this thing, you may not really be able to fulfill all of that you were given. For example, I happened to work in a particular school. I was given 2 classes to teach, and they all had 3 arms, and then a 3rd class was added to me with 2 arms to teach. So I wanted to say no to this, my boss, and I thought over it, and I had to approach him, and I told him that if I am to work this 3rd class that I was given to work on, I will need to be relieved of maybe planning lessons for the other classes. I can enter the class and teach, but then I will not get to write lesson plans, right? So it was what I was going to tell him, and instead of focusing on the no I was saying, we all came to agree on the work I had. So saying no and giving a defense to it very properly would take the no away, so to say, and then you should focus on the reason why you are saying the no, and you all will come to an agreement. Yes. So how can you say no to your family and relatives of their requests and all of what they have? Number 1, you must know the person that is saying this, and then you know what they are asking for. First, you know how you are related to this person that you are saying no to, and the kind of request they are requesting from you. It's very important to, first of all, know those things. And it is very, very proper to make your boundaries known from the onset. This is not just about being rigid or being stingy, so to say, and all of those things. But then when you make, the most thing you must look out for is to be honest and to be true to it. Because you are working it out for your own good, and you need to just be honest about everything and with yourself. For the many times you have shown up that you can actually foot this, for the many times you have shown up that you can actually carry on with this, you need to be very honest with that, such that when you bring forth a no, it will be agreed with. And then you will not get to struggle with it again, and you make it very firm and honest, such that they will actually get to know, and they will know the boundaries to which they can go. What of a client and a customer relationship? How can you say no to a client? We are in the festive seasons already, and things have been spoken about. For example, tailors who keep receiving clothes and materials to make dresses for people, and then they don't have the plan to deliver those clothes on time. They don't have the time to deliver those clothes, but then they just keep collecting without saying no. It is very, very important as a craftsman, as a creative person, as somebody who does some of those works, to actually keep your integrity. When it is time to say no, you learn how to say no and you stand by it. Creatively tell them that I may not really be able to handle this, and then you suggest what or where they can take that to. You suggest the next person, maybe in your line of business, where they can go to actually get that done. And then when you stand by that, you are respected, you retain your integrity, you retain your word for what you have said. So it's very, very important to say that. What of saying no to a close friend? This is very, very tactful too. For example, your colleague invites you for a party, and you are not so comfortable to attend that party. How can you say no to that person? It's very, very important that you say it very blunt and then you don't give reasons for it. Because when you give reasons for it, they always find a way to come back. But then if it's just an acquaintance kind of relationship you have with this person, you say no bluntly. And then, the next thing is they look for the next person to get on with that party. They look for the next person to get on with that request they are trying to get. Maybe a request for a financial assistance or just anything that's regarding you giving. When you say no bluntly, you may not be able to do this. I may not be able to spare this kind of money for you. They look for the next person to ask or to make that request from. It is very, very important that you don't give much reason, because if you give reasons for it, they will always have a way to make you to understand and give you more reasons to be able to deflect your own reasons so that theirs can become superior. So you say no and stand by it very firmly. You may choose not to give any reason for it at all. But then the rule, just as I've said before, that you need to be firm and you need to be honest, because you need it for your own good. You need it for your own good. I will not be saying all of these things because I know that a lot of persons don't know how to say no to very close persons to them. It's a tact you need to learn. For many of us, for very, very many of us, it's a learned behavior. You need to learn it intentionally to be able to come to that, so that you can actually say no to some persons, and then you will not feel bad for it. You will not feel like the sky is going to fall. You don't feel like you are going to be fired. You don't feel like you are not going to be loved by the family again. But then the golden rule is that you must be honest about it. You must be honest about what you are saying. You must be honest about the reasons you are going to give for saying no and to a particular person, especially if the person is very close to you. So those are some of the reasons I've advanced for why or how you should say no to persons very close to you. The golden rule is that you must be honest and then you must be firm, for you know what is good for you. It's a part of self-awareness, and it's what you know that will make you to grow, knowing yourself better and handling people better, right? And you are doing it so that you know that it is going to get you to fulfill your personal goals. It is going to get you to become more purposeful with your resources, with your time, and with just everything around you, right? You know how you give out your time to people, you know how you give out your resources to people, and then you are better for all of that time. Those are the reasons I've advanced, and you can add more in the comment section, and then we'll get to discuss on what you see about that. Thank you very much, and God bless you. Thank you.